Despite my channel mostly being about covering MMORPGs, something you probably don't know about me is that I'm actually a huge fan of the Grand Theft Auto series. I've played and finished every game in this franchise since GTA 3, and when it comes to making interesting open worlds, I think Rockstar Games are the very best in the industry. Recently I took a bit of a break from MMOs due to burnout, and instead I've been playing a few single player games and stuff I wouldn't normally cover on this channel. The game I've been playing the most, however, is GTA Online, which is basically the online mode of GTA 5, which is in my opinion the best GTA game that Rockstar has made so far. When it comes to the online mode, however, it's a completely different story. GTA Online initially released in 2013 on consoles with a bit of a rocky launch. At the time though, I was more interested in playing the single player mode, so I didn't really get into it too much. Since releasing on PC in 2015, I've played GTA Online quite casually, but recently I've made more of an effort to really dive into it and see all of the content it has to offer, the main thing being all of the multiplayer heists. At this point you're probably thinking, dude, the title of your video is pretty fucking harsh. If the single player mode is so good, then how can the multiplayer be so bad? Let's start with the first issue, the community. As a new player going into GTA Online, the first thing you'll notice is how incredibly toxic the vast majority of people you meet in this game are. You could be minding your own business, doing some missions, trying to make some money, and you'll see another player coming towards you on the minimap. Instead of seeing if you're going to be hostile or just go about your business, 70% of the time people will just shoot you on sight, even if you're a brand new player with no hope of defending yourself. After they've killed you, it's likely that they're just going to spawn camp you until you stop respawning. Something I notice in the majority of sessions I've joined is that there's always at least one or two people constantly flying around in OP vehicles such as the Hydra, the Oppressor, or the Tank, just killing everyone on sight, then trash talking in the chat about how high their kill to death ratio is and that everyone else sucks at the game. Why the fuck is kill to death ratio even a thing in a GTA game when 99% of the times you die comes from some random idiot in an aircraft that seems to think people actually give a shit about KD in this game? Another thing that I was also surprised by was how often you'd run into hackers and modders that run around with God mode on, one-hitting everything and then proceed to spawn things like UFOs in the sky and campfires inside your character. From my experience, it's much harder to find a session without these types of people than one with these people. Luckily though, if you're sick of getting spawn killed, you do have the option to turn on something called passive mode, which will essentially make your character a ghost. However, you're then unable to draw your weapon and shoot stuff, so it's hardly a perfect solution. Most of the time you end up just going into the options menu and finding a new session, which is also incredibly annoying for the next reason I think GTA Online is garbage. The loading times in GTA Online are astronomically long, and from what I can tell, having the game installed on your SSD seems to make next to no difference. This makes finding a new session without hackers and KDR warriors an absolute nightmare. On average, I'd say GTA Online has between 2 and 5 minute load times depending on the time of day. Sometimes you'll sit through a 5-minute load screen only to then get a message saying, couldn't connect to the session, and instead of automatically searching for another session for you to join, the game will instead put you into single player mode and make you go through another eternity of a load screen all over again until you can eventually join. Other common examples of when you'll need to go through long ass loading screens are at the end of successfully completing missions, or during a mission where someone leaves causing you to fail, which will then load you back into the previous session. Usually I'm quite patient when it comes to loading screens, but in GTA Online they're just so frequent and so long it makes the game a much worse experience. Heists are arguably the biggest reason to play GTA Online, and when things go smoothly, it's genuinely enjoyable content. The problem, however, is heists never go smoothly unless you're in a dedicated group of 4 people that you trust using Discord or something. Even with a group of 3 people, heists can be a nightmare, as you can guarantee that the 4th person that joins is gonna be a massive cunt. Before you get to the point of actually doing a heist though, each heist requires several setup missions, each of which aren't a very time efficient way way to earn money in the game. As a result of this, you'll be waiting for at least 20 to 30 minutes for enough randoms to join before you can even start the setup mission. If during the setup mission at any point one of the people in your group leaves or disconnects, the mission is immediately failed and you need to go through another long ass loading screen until you're back in the game. If at the time of the person leaving your group was at the other side of the map, that's where you'll spawn in, meaning you need to drive all the way back to your apartment and go through another short loading screen before you can even search for another player to replace the one that left. What makes this even more annoying is that these heist setup missions are just so fucking easy that anyone who's even semi-competent at the game could do them solo or duo. But no, the game doesn't even give you the option. It could be the most easy Snorefest mission and you'll need to have a full party of 4 people from start to finish. If not, GG, mission failed, enjoy the loading screens, son. The heist setup missions are so cancerous that it took me and 2 friends over an hour to do just one mission, simply because the 4th person that joined would either suicide constantly, disconnect, or just leave for no apparent reason, and this was with a group of 3 people. When we eventually found someone that didn't leave, we had the mission finished in 5 minutes. The other 55 minutes consisted of loading screens and waiting around. Luckily though, to be fair, the new Doomsday heists that were added can be done as a duo from start to finish, which is definitely a step in the right direction. Me and my younger brother actually completed all of the Doomsday stuff as a duo on hard mode not too long ago, and it was some of the most challenging and fun content I've ever experienced in a GTA game, so at least that's a positive.
3, 2,
you're clear, you're clear.
1, done.
Go, come to the right, anti-clockwise. Rush.
I'm
Rushing.
Need body armor, by the way.
Okay, take cover in this next server room. Covering. I just wish Rockstar would go back and allow the older heists to be done as a duo, because right now playing them without a full group just isn't worth the brain cells that you'll lose trying to cooperate with some of the window lickers that play this game. After almost 5 years since the release of GTA Online, you'd have thought by now it'd be easy to jump into the Rockstar created playlists and have some kind of idea of how long it'd take to find a game, what type of game modes are in the playlist, and what theme each playlist has. Wrong. The game type playlists in GTA Online are an absolute joke that honestly make me question whether or not Rockstar have even tested their own online mode. Let's say for example I only want to do races that use sports cars. I go to the playlist menu and this is what I see. Random titles that literally give me zero fucking information about what the playlist contains other than a small vague icon to tell me if it's a deathmatch, a car race, a boat race, or an airplane race. The Rockstar created playlists themselves are also an absolute joke as they don't seem to have much of a theme to them at all, just being filled instead with a random variety of activities. Instead of the current clusterfuck that is playlists, why not simply make a proper matchmaking menu that can be accessed from this game's main menu? Instead of going through the loading screen to get into the open world part of GTA Online, you have the option to just search for games and be returned to the menu if you only want to do structured content. You could then sort out the race playlists into different classes such as bikes, muscle, sport, super, and off-road. You could have a playlist with all the team deathmatch and normal deathmatch modes, and you could have a random playlist where you just queue for user-created stuff. Surely doing that and giving a bit more room on screen for a description of the game types would be a more intuitive piece of design than this lazy, tedious piece of shit playlist system you have currently that's so bad it's hard to even find a game if you're not willing to wait in queue for 30 minutes. Everything in GTA Online costs money, from cars to clothes, guns, apartments to start your first heist, and endgame businesses that act as a means of spending money so you can make money. Initially as a new player, earning money is quite fun because you're doing everything for the first time and there's a bit more structure to the game's missions early on. Eventually, however, earning money in GTA Online starts to feel like a grind that I'd compare to a game such as Black Desert Online, where people start calculating the best methods to make the most money per hour, regardless of how boring that may be. Don't worry though, Rockstar have a solution that shows the entire gaming industry that it doesn't matter if your game has made more money than any film, book, or game has ever made, with over 90 million units sold and $6 billion in revenue. No, that's not enough. You need more, and what better way to make more money than introducing pay to win in the form of shark cards. What is a shark card? It's basically GTA Online's way to sell in-game money for real money. After watching a lot of GTA Online money making guides, it seems like if you really push it, in-game you can make between $300,000 and $500,000 per hour. Alternatively, you can spend £60 for $8 million if you buy a shark card, which will save you between 20 and 25 hours of grinding. And when you consider that $8 million will only be able to get you 2 or 3 high-end vehicles at most, it's no wonder people would rather look into alternative, more dodgy means of earning money. As an MMO player playing GTA Online, I never cease to be amazed at how commonly accepted modding and cheating is in this game, and Rockstar's lack of response to it. As I mentioned earlier, it's sometimes genuinely hard to escape modders in this game. Idiots running around with God mode on, people zapping you from across the map, people spawning objects such as toilets, spaceships, campfires, and shopping trolleys into the map. It's an absolute shit show sometimes, and you have to wonder how people get away with it for so long without being banned. It seems like the GTA Online community as a whole don't even mind that so many people play the game this way. Some fairly successful YouTube channels even encourage people to use mods and receive a good like to dislike ratio along with it. It's kinda crazy. Something that I personally find is a bit of a hilarious response to Rockstar's pay-to-win shark cards, however, is the sale of GTA 5 modded accounts. Due to how piss-poor GTA Online's anti-cheat is, people are making a living from buying the game, making an online account, modding the account to have a high level and a few $100 million, and selling the account on for $3 to $5 higher than what the game actually costs to buy. Due to how grindy GTA Online is and the amount of new expensive stuff that gets added, it seems like the majority of people would rather just buy a modded account with all the money and levels they could ever want for £30 than spend double that on a shark card that will only give them $8 million. Overall, playing GTA Online is the only time I've ever really felt disappointed by Rockstar, and to be honest, the only reason you'd even play GTA Online anyway is for the additional content that's not offered in the single-player version of the game. Personally, I wish they just added all of the new heists, cars, interiors, and content as paid DLC for GTA 5 single-player, or at least give people the option to pay to unlock it in single-player, or suffer through the online mode to play it for free. That being said, if you have a consistent group of 4 competent gamers, then you'll probably have a lot of fun in GTA Online with the heists, but if that isn't the case, then I wouldn't even bother. The loading screens, the modders, the community that seems to consist mostly of 12-year-olds, the lack of thought that went into the playlists, the pay to win, the grind, and the fact that kill to death ratio exists in a fucking GTA game are the reasons that I think GTA Online is complete and utter garbage. But that's it for this video, guys. I'm expecting quite a negative like to dislike ratio on this one, but regardless, I'd like to hear about your experiences with GTA Online in the comments below. Additionally, if you're a fan of multiplayer games, MMOs, anything like that, and you want like-minded people to chat to, then join my Discord community linked in the description below. Thanks for watching, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you again really soon.